Alright. And hello everyone. So, I spent yesterday 6 hours in this game, isn't it? It's a lot of time. And I just finished, wait a second, the second day? The first day in the trials, this means there's 2 more days, it's kinda a lot of time. Hello Zirium. Finally a return, let me check. The icons in chat. Yeah, by the way, I have your new avatar. Let me close this. Open this here. Where's my chat? Here it is. Alright, so for some reason this last DLC actually that was not in the original game case super long. It's super long. Why? Why it's so long? I don't know. Oh yeah, forgot to mute it here. Hold on. Let me check what's on my side. This is test. Yeah, it's working. Alright, let's continue. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. I still don't understand. How do they know that he was murdered at police department? Like, there was video, but I didn't see any video. A different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Wanna? Good morning, Mr. Light. Right. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. Hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. Just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I feared as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? He agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I am as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky? We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. By the way, I forgot what those were. Hold on. Malsatures. I believe the chief was the first one. And the other 2, it was this policeman? Oh, how else could he enter without the ID card? I don't know. Maybe it's something else. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. Oh yeah! So Marshall entered. He could enter with someone else's ID, isn't it? You don't need to use it twice. Found Officer Marshall's traces? So Marshall is actually the killer. Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. So in this case Marshall killed, and the previous serial killer was this Gunt, maybe. No idea. And a trump card. I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards. We are dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Will I able to finish this day today? Doubtable, very doubtable. The last day will be just inside the card. Oh, at least I must finish card today. 3 hours will be enough. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... What is this place? I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. Victim Bruce Goodman was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Well, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. They will present evidence related to the murder and the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. That's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, prosecution calls this Mitkins, the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. As I thought. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Mitkins, sir. And we already know what he will say or not. He told us everything already. My occupation is that would be a murderer, sir. Oh, seriously, he already told us everything yesterday. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. What changed his mind right now? Is it some police pressured him or something? I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You got to believe me, sir. Now you must defend him. Actually, what we'd like, sir, and what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. In this stupid sound, a person whose actions adults can possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Mickens. Yes, sir? Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. What? What? You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm. Also, it's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Well, I already heard the voices. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it, except that he did not. After that I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. Okay, even if he killed him, why the body disappeared? So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto to others before they do unto you. The Mickens family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I need here is more info to work with, so we are going to press every statement, of course. They told us what to do. Also, it's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Hold it. Mr. Mickens, your work in the General Affairs Department. Do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Now this is scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger? Oh yeah, Blue Badger actually had some damage on his body. Still don't know why. And why do you need to guard him? The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. So in this case, he's supposed to use the ID card till a room was opened. Hold it. Hold it! In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Finally, the correct question. Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck, and what's the number on it? So then, your ID number should be a list in here, right? No? There it is, I found it. It is the one right here. Can you please read us the number? Yes, sir. So why it was used twice? That's my number, sir. I understand. So how about the number 4989596? Shown as being used twice. Except somebody took his ID and used it second time to enter this room. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room. I see. So, first gun entered, 20 minutes later Miles, and they left maybe. Next Mike. Next Bruce, and next Mike again. Bruce and Mike entered at the same minute. Difference could be like 30 seconds. And instead of Bruce, it was actually Marshall. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen. By the way, for me also, if I'm in the office and see somebody with no badge at all, you must ask for the badge, because during security, every single employee or contractor are responsible for suspicious persons. Now, everyone must wear badges, and if there's no badge, you must report this person. Later added to IT card record. But it's more important to report somebody instead of ask for the ID, because it can be dangerous like this. It's only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. Hold it. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you and say some specific badges only for visitors, and visitors must always be accomplished with some other person, and if you see them alone, you must also report this. It's illegal. Alright, can you tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife! Have a good man pulled a knife on you? What happened then? What? Oh, ticket. I was afraid that you request another game because I have right now 2 more requests in order before I'm able to switch to Sonic back. Okay, I have 3 types of tickets right now. The green one, I don't know, it's not red, but let's say it's red and yellow-black. Which color do you want, first of all? You can try Monopoly. Monopoly. Okay, for Monopoly, I actually have 4 tickets. Which one do you want? Like, let's see, first, second, third, and number 4. First? Okay, it's this one. On the right. Where's my scratcher? And usually it's in the bottom. Hold on. Well, let's see. Okay. Now where's my application? My phone. Here it is. And let's check it. Come on. This cannot focus, what? Maybe there's not enough light. Okay, here it is. Nothing. Let me try a second time. Nothing. You lost your 10,000 points. Here it is. Not a winner. But it will focus. Here it is. Well, very typical. So I have 4 tickets, and what are the chances? Let's see. 1 in 3.8. So one of these 4 tickets supposed to win something. At least 10 bucks. I think. That's it. And let's continue. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. Big next time. So, how many tickets were redeemed? Approximately like 15 so far. And the highest price was 10 bucks. The price of the tickets, I believe. Or maybe 15. Well, something like this. I doubt something bigger. It's definitely impossible to win something here. Definitely not. Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You're not exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hands wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. Hello, Kyle. And I also added Avatar to you as well. I grabbed the man by his collar. Okay, I fought for my life. Then I did it. Hold it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun her out and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See? He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then... Wait a second, so that's why Lana had a white coat full of blood? What? Why she wear it? And hello, M.I.N. And the next scene I knew. Yes. He punched me right in my face, sir. Okay, after that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Hold it. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir. But how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Alright. By the way, why there's no further records? Well, of course it's not related to this case. It's somebody opened the door. We must see the time. According to the report from the officers that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Hold on. 5:30, 60 minutes later. Was it in the morning? Anyway, why is there no record here? Very strange. Hit me right in the head too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice, I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. And I came around, so I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance. By the way, I used this luminol on Badger and there were no traces of blood, so how was he damaged? I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. That's all? I believe you now have a very accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man, this officer, murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Mickens? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. If Gant is really guilty, why is he doing so much to help his process? The chief delivered it? What is it? Videotape? VHS. Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. It's not evidence. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us a video of you murdering the victim. Please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. Video of real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Because it will be picture. No, it's video? I can't believe this. It's video. Where are the faces, goddammit? Well, he opened it. He used the correct fingerprints. Something fell. But possible to stop it and look what's going on. White was called like murder. Very strange. Can I watch it again? Well, I believe we are all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's a blue badger, sir. I'm not surprised this isn't going smoothly. Can I watch it? Yes, well, anyway. It's not possible to pause it. Okay, I see that it was already damaged before it. Why it was even damaged in the first place? Okay, no face, so it definitely was not Goodman. Goodman definitely was already killed by now. Yeah, face is not visible. It was some kind of piece of mail. 1714 time on the tape. Okay, that's enough. 1714. Maybe this was the piece? No, can't be. Alright. Well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room in some sort of activity, Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage. The witness testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Mickens? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Mystery Man. His face can be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. So it definitely wasn't him. I mean, he opened the locker, yeah, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Could it be Lana? That's why she wore these clothes, because they had the fingerprints of Goodman. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir, and she was wearing this coat with blood on it. I wasn't sure it was her. No. Definitely it was her. No, seriously, it was her. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. This lock ensures that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. I know what is contradicts here, but of course it's not true what he's saying. Hold it. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face. I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? What is the point? You are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see? Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. What is it called, Kyle? Still, I'm sure it was him. I'll bet my badge on it. Well, he insists it's him, it's definitely not. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. Hold it. And by the way, how's your favor today? But you don't know what's that for sure, do you? you never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. Horrible coughs? Are you sure it's not how was it called? COVID? That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. So it can be one? You should try some tests. Actually bought several tests on Amazon, used it once, but it was not it. When I got cold like a year ago. It was something else. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Yes, everyone look at me. I had to label your stares as disturbing, or Megan's. What, he even said egg? Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Alright, thank you for good luck. Now please be more certain when you testify. I seriously want to play some Castlevania games. But right now has a very huge list of games to play. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. So far on my channel played only a Bloodstain, which somehow related to Castlevania, by a game designer, I believe. Now, why you're positive it was him? But Bloodstain, like, too casual game. Castlevania, the original one, it's super hard. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Hold it. About these lockers. Is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. Only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. But it states that you will get electrocuted if you try to open some other locker. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. As a man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its register of fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. That's exactly my point, sir. And this too. Locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Hold it. How do you know that information? I heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the records, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprints. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. So definitely someone can unlock it, but I don't have any evidence except glow. Hold it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. It was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled stay can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. It is unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? I checked it twice already, let's check one more time. Is it about the badger? I'm in front of this badger. He's holding something, one more time. Maybe it's she? Ah, he's with gloves. Something. Or not. Is it glow or not? It doesn't look like glow. I don't understand if it was possible to pause it. I don't know, let's say that there's a problem. Gather the video contained on this tape. There's one scene in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that, I don't know right now, the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such contradiction? One more time. Oh, wait a second, there's a light! There's a light! This means it's already opened. Isn't it? Okay, I see now. Definitely it's about light. Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Suppose we have that defense points out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. To point out a problem in the video? Well, I know what is the problem now. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. Let's see. Up, so you can fast forward, rewind and pause the video. Finally I can pause it. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right scene. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Then I must use this. Well, it's right now, but I want to check some other things. Can't even see, is he wearing some gloves or not? Was it a glow? Doesn't look like. This looks like a woman. Now there's a blood on the coat. And it's the same blood. It's definitely the same coat. That's for sure. So it was her. How she skipped off this? So right now. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Okay, so in this case, it was opened by the one who was there before, so it can be Miles or Chief Grant, and maybe Grant has access to every single locker. That's why he opened it. Officer Mickens. Sir? Do you mean me, sir? So in this case, if somebody had this code, this means they took it from Goodman. So Goodman was already killed. As a standard, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Why show me this again, huh? When the victim reached for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Okay. Come on. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. He did say that. Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, the sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. It's not likely, Your Honor, that sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Well, it's just good to show notice. Should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, I wasn't the locker locked. Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. I think, Miss Scientific Investigator. Or maybe something like jammed the electronic system? Something jammed the sensor. See. There's something else that seems out of place in this area, I don't know what. Yeah, I thought so too. Something that fell down. It's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. I know. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Okay, definitely know what this is. For sure. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh my god. Why am I watching this again? What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. Often fall out and what? You can be sure that item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Why are you watching this again? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. I understand now, sir. Just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, it just might have been something that fits the description. But, sir, by insulator, I finally got this figured out. Hello? Very well, will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? I think this. Take that. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But you can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says CL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lead lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Mickens? Sir, it appears so, sir. Order, order, order! So, are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stopped in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Mr. Mickens, please testify about this. Sir? Me, sir? Could he do this? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Okay. Ah, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man number 2. Nice music. There's one other thing. That proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card, but everyone can use it. When ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. It proves nothing. Man, I have a problem with my lip. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, also it doesn't make much of difference. There was only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let's us move on to the cross-examination. By the way, it's after the deadline of 2 years will pass, you move them. So just one single case by all of them. Don't quite understand. Okay, doesn't matter. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Hold it. So, unlike your earlier testimony, hold on. Unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I even give the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out. The witness can't afford to make any more mistakes. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card. Hold it. Is the card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck in my car door when I get out? Well, the remaining time my ID card gets stuck. Instead of the door closed and my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. When ID card is used, there's a record of it. Hold it. Let it be noticed that this is the record the witness referred to. Anything? Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? Couldn't do this. Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. No, it's a prosecutor again. Maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mom, is that man in blue a murderer? Sir, don't start him. It's the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Hold it. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir, he didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. Obvious? Sounds like Edgeworth to miss something like this. Thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Alright, let's see. One thing that proves. Okay. To enter the room, one must use their ID card. Use any ID card. The ID card is used, there's a record for it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. This is definitely wrong. What do you have? Oh, what do you have? Use ID card. Anyone can use it. Anyone. Totally the same dialogue. There's no need to examine anything at all. Trophy sword, knife sword, parting stop, no need. No. No. Definitely not. No. Mm-mm. Okay. No. 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 Maybe not. It's sword. No. Why is there so many blood here? Martial Prince. Okay, we have Martial Prince. But could they be here? Well, let's see first. We may show first of all Martial Prince. And the only one that's close to this is the time of the character that ever had you. No. Let's see all the statement. One thing that proves. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card. ID card is used as a record of it. Marshall somehow entered it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. I don't know why should I show him this fingerprint. When the ID card is used, there's a record of it. But there's no record for Marshall, for example. Oh my god. Hello. No, all sudden. I just don't quite understand. What should I show here? It can be a correlation that when ID card is used, there's a record of it. No, it was used, so the record is here. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card. Have nothing that can prove that you can enter an evidence room without ID card, so that's definitely the last statement. At the time of the crime, the victim had used his card. Somebody else had used his card. And the only thing that I see is that I can use this Martial Prince, but how they connected? Let's try and see what will happen. Objection. And I was wrong. Obvious. But so what can I use? At the time of the crime, detective had used his card. What did he use? Even if I press on this, it will show nothing. What should I show here? Can it be? Oh my god, I don't know. No, I can simply reload when I get out of options and use some other options again. The detective had used his card. He didn't use his card. Let me show the card. Objection. Objection! It's the card. Wait one moment. Officer Mickens. Indeed, because at this time, the card was at prosecutor's office. But for sure, I forgot about time. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. It makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report? Somehow completed. Wait a second, in this case, how did they get the record? I'm not sure what's going on. But it shows the detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? Can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! So now, what does this all mean? Okay, how Lana could teleport if it was her? And definitely it was this code, teleport from one location to another in a minute. Code it's the same code. It can only mean one thing, it doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Mickens encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? You just proved that our suspect is guilty. Allow me to summarize the defense argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Mickens encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? It's kinda obvious. That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't good. Well, it seems you're finally released. exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. Defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. I knew the testimonial was way too shoddy. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so you know. It's right, you have to do something, or else, Lana? And what can I do? What do you do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this? What will I object? Okay, object. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you are objecting to what you just proven. Of course not. I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. Security video did not show the actual murder. How he left, or she? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, the witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Is right? Do you mean, Your Honor? Defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, who do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified, was he or her name on the scanner opens? Officer Jack Marshall. Why him? I can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defendant's request. The cowboy. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. He shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Another waste of 20 minutes. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Here's the prosecution. Please prepare the witness during this time. Subpoena. Subpoenaed, maybe. We will, Your Honor. Court is in recess. Yes, no stopping you is there, Mr. Wright. Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Oh, I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And top it off, you call me here. Some happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! Why is there so many heys? I didn't see you there, Miss Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? What's going on here? You mean this, right? The heck is this? Apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? Lana, that's... Do you already have it? No. I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Sky was a witness? Let me say that. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Okay, let's see. Files for the dark killings solved 2 years ago. Incident number SL9 closed. Criminal Joe Dark. Again, they added some E at the end. Why? I'm serial murder. Sentence deaths. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Addis Kirby, Marshall Moss, Shep Bates, and Neil Marshall. Okay, Marshall we know already. So it was his brother that I already saw in some flashbacks. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana Sky and Emma Sky. Executive investigators Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Definitely Gant was killer, that's for sure. Investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall. Angel Star. Okay. Now what? now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? But my name is in here? I don't know. Unless... No, it could be. Anna, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? I just remember several cases of serial killers when innocent people were sentenced to death just because police is rushed to, like, let's close this case, it was him, that's all. Done. Because they'll get punishment if they don't find the murderer in less than 1 year. So they were saying it was another serial killer and another, but all the time it was just one single man and they killed all different innocent people. For what? Just not get fired or something? Just get the bonus money? Very funny. Joe Drake. No one. When this happens, I believe that people who killed some innocent men should also be executed. In this case, it will never happen again. Service. Oh? No, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, but I'm out of here. Somewhere it's toilet? Jake Marshall, Angel Storm, Damon Guns, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Anyone involved in this case is connected to Soul's killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Don't you just might be able to figure it out? Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. I already did this, by the way. To be oh, it's done? How much did it take me? Just 1 hour. Okay, another hour for the second part. I just made only one single mistake here so far. And now all this tries, so... We're stuck. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. And didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Drinking. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. I just recall this Sonic anime where also drinks, alcoholic drinks, were replaced with some kind of juice or something? Oh, look. No, it's not the last one. It's just second name of trials in the third game, day in this case, out of 4. So I will not finish it today. Just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jack Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I never heard Edgeworth describe that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperate soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In English. What? It was in English before? I don't know. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone occurred. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by the 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon. At the time, it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of armor, it's time I hit the trail. So it was him in this disguise? I don't know. Can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Can't say I care for your birds, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? Well, ID and fingerprints? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. What? I have tons of them. The last one is has all 9 incident files. Fingerprints. There's tons of stuff here, by the way. One page is 8. And 8. And 8. 25 of them. I can't even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks inside the evidence room? Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled case are those? It's not being very helpful. It's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses. No, don't say, Mr. Prosecutor. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Okay, job is keep away eye. Hold it. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? Just make sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. The room's so still. Even time doesn't there. I was just a caretaker who interrupted the recordings. You entered them? Years of nothing on that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. It's the year 2012 or 15 even here, and they're still using tapes and erasing them. Wonderful. Each time I erased a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair, was a dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? I said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. Hold it. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Haven't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that I'm my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No, Desperado, I know let's rules get in his way. No, Desperados, I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. Well, it's definitely the lie. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Okay, so they said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that aren't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems. Hold it. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in the day my locker was a goldmine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I am good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. It's quite incredible. What's the killer? Of course not. It can be Guns and can be this Marshall. And serial killer can be Goodman himself, why not? Sensor on the locker. Handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentioned it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. And tell us what you were doing when the crime took place. If you remember right, I was at a street side salon. Hold it. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti? Suicide? Committed by Guzman? Not even Angel's steak lunches can be that Parlor's Manjol Sebia pasta. If he was the killer, according to these SL9 files, he killed Nell Marshall, so Marshall can kill for his brother? Him? Why not? You mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. It's usually where Angela says. Do you not want a rise this year? I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of armor, it's time I hit the trail. The last statement. Hold it. Will I have his fingerprints? Out of armor, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you would call it, evidence. You plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, evidence doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Okay, this means, Kuluk, that I am not doing your request. I am not taking orders from anyone. Which moment? Which? According to your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'll best keep my call. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. What? Before you use it? Okay, job. Make rounds. 2 security systems. I was at street side salon. I'm just innocent traveling man, so we must show the evidence here. Well, you finished just 70% of it. 30% still hidden. Where I spent like, I don't know, 3 streams on it. Should I show this? You might hate tactics. Objection? Objection! Don't listen to me this game. Objection! 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 Finally it worked. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? It is. You being called in to testify like this, especially the second tactics and third tactics. I played only the first two, not the third one. The third one was released too late and I already stopped playing any RPGs. All you went in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the sun. or to be exact, handprint. I just hope that in Tactics you'll get the soft lock, the very famous soft lock that I got myself when I was playing it twice. And it will waste like 30 hours of gameplay. You'll start it from the very beginning, one more time. If you use just one single save file, it will be super funny. I was furious when it happened to me first time, but 5 years later, when they released, or maybe 10 years later, this game on PSP, it was a different version of it, like remaster. I played it again, and again I got this stupid soft lock. Because I don't want to play like warrior, I want to play as mage, and if you play as mage, you'll get soft lock. Tactics is better than the whole Final Fantasy. Tactic is related to the Tactics series, and the first game was hold on, I forgot it. Tactics Ogre. Let Us Cling Together. It was the second or the third part of another series of games. It's totally the same. Even style is the same. I mean, the design of the characters, even plot looks the same. So, definitely, Tactic is different series. Why it's called Final Fantasy, I have no idea. It's its own genre, its own series. Handprint. So, I would start from the very first game in this series, not with Final Fantasy Tactic. At least Tactic Over. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of Wright. My respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. Especially that it's like taking part in the same universe, in Wallis. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. And Final Fantasy 12 is part of it, by the way. And I wish it were, officer. But you see... Well, games, Final Fantasy games are not related to each other except 10 and 10-2, and 7 and Crisis Core, and what was this? Something Cerberus, I didn't play it. But it's like the same fantasy about like Game of Thrones, who will become the king, boss of the kings, traitors, etc. But you see. So, genre of the plot, not the gameplay, the plot is the same. Fingerprints were covered in blood. And especially in the first game, there are several endings in it. Depends on what you'll do. Yes, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away. However, a luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me that I cut my face when I was doing this, and now shaving. The other person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Well, they will be Chocobo, they will be Black Mages, Summoners, Summons will be the same, obviously. I think you have an explanation, then, Officer Marshall. But in Tactics Org there also were Summons, just they had different names. Well, the blood-stained fingerprints, or actually maybe it was in a remake. I didn't play the very first game. And there were several remakes of Tactics Org already, and the recent one was released like 1 year ago, previous year. I need to play it. Well, I must start from Marshall's Black Queen or something. Not sure. Dark Queen maybe. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. And the first game was released on Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Wait a second, how does he know about gloves? Well, look, first of all I must play them myself on the stream. Because last time I played it when the first remake was released. I don't remember when was it. On PSP. A lot of years ago. I don't even remember what was the plot. So, first of all I need to replace them. After this I will replace them. See, I had nothing to do with it. So, Tales of Fantasia, I played it myself after this I requested it. A witness explanation appears valid. And the same is Mist. Also, there's room for... By the way, Mist was requested for me. I didn't select it myself. I mean, the second game. Even. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now my chance to prove it. And let me see. Playing almost 2 hours. Maybe it's time to take a pause. I mean, I need some water. Actually, it's coffee. Alright, I'll take a pause for 2 minutes. Be right back. Really quick. Alright, finally back. Whew. It is. So, his contradiction. Not just press every statement. It's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. Hold it. That's because you, how do you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That lawyer happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? In the contradictions, I see that he knows that somebody was wearing gloves, because on the video I cannot see it. I mean, what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my brains went all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never changed. Hold on, I want to check one thing. His locker was on the left. On the right was the locker of Gamsha. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it. Updated? It's very important. Hold on, I want to check it. So, found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. The print had been wiped. Okay. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. Hold it. Hold it! Look at this. Hold it! So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. The mirror touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Hold it. The chances of that happening are a million to... It's not million to one. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are a million to one. Get one thing straight, partner. You aren't gonna get no reward for me with some rare fingerprints. You wanna know why? For a few hours? I wonder why it's not so many, because they were moving records, evidences, as it was explained. And I have only like 1, 2, 3, 5 people. Definitely the first one is gone. It's for sure. You wanna know why? Bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Hold it. Unrelated. They're as different as night and day, and like 0 and 0. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's type of murder. Don't eat cereal for breakfast, please. It's garbage food. He's right, also seemingly alike. They're totally different. Don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? I didn't know, you told me. Hold it. Hold it! How do you know that? I'm maybe a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the records. There was a bloodstain at the scene. though thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So, that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place his hand on the top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you trying to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert. It's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. So it's on this videotape that he's here? Isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony. I can't let him scream out of this one, but it's gonna be impressed on the last one. Got to find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. Too bad it wasn't me. Oh, it's a new one? That video? Hold it. What do you mean by that? You wanna tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera spanning back and actually it's also hiding Gumshoe's locker. The floor isn't shown. No, seriously. Hiding it. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, he could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Oh my god, let me check it first of all. Him. On this video. Since I cannot stop it right now here. Okay, I see something. Strange. And this is... nothing? Alright, I see it. I see it. Yeah, show evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Read carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Okay. How did he left it? It's so fast. Well, obviously this. Bringing our attention back to the security camera. Easy mistake, I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Days are short in Texas? Actually, yes, but not during winter time. During winter time, they're much longer than anyone else. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Usually, like at summer and winter time, days are almost the same. Difference is insignificant. You will never notice it. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. See this locker that has a white cloth sticking out in the witness locker. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. Not the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order. It seems that... Hold your horses! Sorry, partner. But you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? It doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Well, because he didn't care about all this security system. That's it. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call you bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. What? Hold on. Take that. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. It's kinda crazy talk with this. And Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, it looks aren't that obvious. Even some people in their force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Order! Yes, explain yourself. This is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Oh yeah, please answer the question. Does he know? A bullfighter? That's right. Alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. You can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meckens didn't see Officer Marshall. Is it so then? Where was the witness? Since Mr. Wright has an answer. I have? That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Here? Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meckens witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meckens did not know Detective Goodman. Also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? Oh my god, he still never stopped. He hardly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. He showed that his color would have been blonde. I don't know, usually people cannot see the difference between faces on the ID cards. Like, if you check my passport and my face, you might say it's two different people, or maybe it's the same. So people, in general, stop believing that ID picture and the real man's, they can be different because like 10 years passed, the face has changed, etc. Officer Meckens would have released the man wasn't a good one, I don't know. I think he would not. You have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. You got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. And I have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. Can't say I care for your burnt, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence? Any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as a victim? Well, am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fire in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert hit. This can't be happening. Desert hit is a key, because usually in the desert there's no humanity. So obviously he's the one. What can I do? Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Nick, try thinking outside of the box. Should I look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise? But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. And hello, Fisherman, thank you for the raid. Okay, didn't get it. Should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? It was open to hide something? Oh, by the way. How's it going? This last case, that was not in original game, is super long. Unforgivably long. Like, you cannot finish it in just 2 streams. Is my sub command is working? Yes. The Legend of Zelda? Breath of the Wild? How about other Zelda games? Why is the latest one? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's arguments, Officer Jack Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Well, me too, but to play the latest Zelda game for me, I must play all the previous Zelda games. Myself, I played like 5 different games. Not even all of them. Well, you can mod it yourself. DS capture cards still available. You can just send your DS and someone can install it to you. I want to modify my new 3DS. And right now, nobody actually producing these 3DS capture cards. I mean, new 3DS capture cards. So I need to wait. Because I don't want to buy anyone else's used system, because I have my own systems, both are new. Well, I played them myself, so that's it. Half of them, it's a lot. And what about, what was this, CDI Zelda games? Still don't have CDI game console, need to buy it. The same for 3DO. So Officer Jack Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. Not gonna play it? Come on! There's so many memes about it. I'll play it for sure, just need to buy the console first. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the clothes inside. No, not the clothes maybe? So just what exactly is this piece of clothes? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. It's his coat? Is there blood on it? I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Okay, if it's this video, so it's blood. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. It shows why the witness had to open his locker. Oh, it's so obvious. Come on. Not here. Here. For sure it's this. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. I don't know what that reason was yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Mickens barged in on you and asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Mickens panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that. So he hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, huh, partner? Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated you. Hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent than as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here, now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Alright. Since the time has come. Confession? But it will be witness? Witness? I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID, and dressed like him, I planned to take out the evidence. But somebody opened it for you. How did you know that it will be opened? I wasn't expecting Officer Mickens. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence rooms at 5:50. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Mickens managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor? Looks like too much blood for that. Let's hold it on every single statement. Okay, he couldn't just stand. Hold it. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When the case is closed, only the detective who was in charge of it can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. Well, in this case, Goodman for sure was the initial serial killer. Two guys with guns. Both of them. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Because of his brother? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole my detective's ID, and dressed like him, I planned to take out the evidence. Hold it. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'll be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost ID report. I turned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. You can actually. Normally, that locker shouldn't have opened temporarily, but you can temporarily. So it opened because a rubber glove was stuck in the door by chance. Then Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I was unexpected Officer Mickens. I knocked him out. Hold it. Because to trick the security system, you just need something that's the same shape as the fingerprints. It's not detecting DNA, just detecting the shape. And the picture. How should I say it? You pulled a knife on Officer Mickens and tried to drive him off, and I'm more than sure that all the fingerprints of the detectives are in the system. Because for me, when I was working for... what was this? Okay, some company involved in SSN, databases, etc., can't say more. I was, well, checked by fingerprints. So in case if something will be stolen, some case, etc., they'll figure out who was it, and so on. Can't say anymore with this. We pulled a knife on Officer Mickens and tried to drive him off. And also, if you need to add that database, since fingerprints is database, so somebody has it in the database. Anyway, let's just say I was a little surprised. When I planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Mickens certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaken detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. Mistaken? He had never seen this detective. He must do this, it's not mistake. I have to think a little more about his ride this year. And did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry I had to turn out that way. It's me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So what happened next? I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Hold it. Hold it! So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. Right. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you blooded, you're caught in your struggle with Officer Mickens. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jeep would have been up on my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Mickens doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any more in the evidence room at 5:50. Hold it. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim? Sure, on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone, so it was gone! What? Mr. Edgeworth? Where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. What was this evidence? Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? By the way, partner, it's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Still a detective's idea, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. Can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. I would say that it doesn't require even a cut in salary. It was insignificant. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. And by the way, I think I need to buy some lipstick. Because it's not good what's going on. There's supposed to be some on Amazon. Well, let's see. How's it even called? Something... Therapy Lip Balsam. This one. Which can be delivered when? Monday. Monday's tomorrow. Overnight. 7-Eleven. Wait a second, 7-Eleven? Is it somehow related to... you know... What about this? With mint? No. I think I have allergy for mint. What about this? Also mint. Why mint is everywhere? And this? Shea butter and vitamin E? I don't like the sound butter. Black tea and blackberry. Okay. One-time purchase. Mine. For tomorrow. Place the order. Here it is. I think it will work. Actually, why not? Witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. It's not over. I thought it's over. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Why? Hold it. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for those crimes. How did it look like? One thing I can say for sure, he deserved his sentence. How about the Joe Drake case? They were serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know, that's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him this, what I think his real reason is? The files? The feeling will wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. But take another look at the files. Present. Which page? Second. Objection? Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Well, some of these cactus juice are kinda very heavy drugs. I have the SL9 incident file here. By the way, you can find this cactus in Texas for sure, in some desert. So you can officially get drugs for free without even growing anything illegally. Because it's a plant that you can find in the desert. I didn't know about this. Why nobody doing this? Well, there's Native American tribes, and for sure they are allowed to do this. For sure. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Strange that they didn't ask which page. Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago. Can I see this picture again? He received the same Lotse Prosecutor Award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murder with Damon Gant, chief detective at the time. By the way, this hand looks like knuckles. Just instead of rings you have... What is this? Never saw it. And there the heart is different. A group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Desperate. Joe Dark. Now I can see his face. My brother fought Dark and was killed. It was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Sounds like bullshit. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? It's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. It was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Mickens confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time, at the murder at the prosecutor's office. This fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, it means the murder in the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Donetsky. Okay, what was the motive?
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday, and yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, these boys go off the draw on you, partner. Also, mysteries at the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. There was no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Star. You have a response. Make it one word or less. Objection. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There is no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Since to you, I didn't need to waste my time. This proved the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder of the security camera's tape really was fake, but they didn't release. That would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Your Honor, wait. However, the defense has an objection. A scientific objection, right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. And what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshaw's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is it all? Please don't be mad, I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an intern. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. You can't find something wrong with them. Yes, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident and the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, handprints were discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? That's right. So it can be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with the blood mark, Lana will be... Let's answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Honor. I needed not to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gunshoot's locker because it has no fingerprints? There's something I'm missing? Because you object. Hold on, I will take just 1 single minute. Be right back, really quick, I need just this. Okay, I'm back. So, that's no problem. Subject. This handprint left as a crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. Been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn there? Yes, someone that, when drawn, completely changed the meaning of the blood mark. A spray in the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, it's going to be something can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? What is missing is Blue Badger, but how's he related? Let's see. Take that. Take that! About the piece of plywood. The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans, the crime scene. Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of this crime. Well? What? That's right. Solo and the Blue Badger is dancing here. It would be impossible to place a handprint in a spot on the locker. I actually thought it was done with someone's glow, but Marshall didn't have any glow. But okay. What? So that means... just exactly what does it mean? It means it can't be done. You're saying blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Then look at me, Mr. Wright, thinking through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Mickens was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. Yeah, Emma's back, and she brought us simply nothing. I don't even know why she was standing here. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in the courtroom. What is far-fetched balderdash? I have zero idea. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by security camera. Okay, so Guns entered with Goodman by using Guns' ID to take out the evidence, and after this Goodman was killed. Or maybe he was killed and his fingerprints were used. Well, I don't know. Officer Mickens cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. So God erased this scene on the tapes. That's why first time when they said that tapes were erased and next they actually were not, it's because Gantz erased the first one, but didn't know about the second. Something like this. Had to have been the date of Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refute you! The murder, portrayed in the security tape, has been proven to be a fake. However, what does not explain the blood mark found on the blocker? So then, assuming this murder, your report really happened, when did it take place? At the moment you show evidence that proves it occurred. Holy shit. At 4:20? When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Mickens being caught by Jack Marshall, who was disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. Blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? Proof must be presented. Well, that shows when the murder took place. Only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? I think it's this. Take that. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would have to have entered the room. In order to do so, an ID card is required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. Officer Mickens brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be... And Edgeworth was framed for 40. Why not for 20? I don't know. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never figured you had nerve, boy. Put off the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I'm getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Mickens and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Fortunately, that's physically impossible. Well, as this case is just filler, it cannot be Miles Lucas, obviously. It would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card, number remaining, 7 sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, it doesn't make sense. How could Officer Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7-7. Wait a second. Double, triple, quadruple. And what's after this? Queens? Wait a second. Septima? Septima triple? I don't know how it's in English. But it's definitely Septima. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this as soon as possible. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Fortunately, I'm able to look up the owner's ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who's a so-called executive officer will have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? It's your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slender, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not you. To hear the defendant sitting over there. The old little executive. Alana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we all looked up your ID number. And it's not 77. Don't play me for a fool, partner. It's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The Cell 9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In the trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? No. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? And him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time occasionally we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before release it, we're the ones being suppressed by the law. Find it. Just what are you saying? Ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During the trial, 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, investigator on that crime, and in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, if you didn't... I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why don't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forged evidence. No. Forged evidence just means laziness and lameness. Oh, so sorry. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No. Order, order, order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial will have to wait until the following day. To be continued. Okay, so now it will be investigation and the last trial, and maybe I will be able to finish this game tomorrow, but I'm not sure about this. Like in this case, I would spend maybe 15 more minutes. I seriously don't know how long it will take. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. It's what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that this SL9 incident was just another name for the John Dark killings. It's like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Drake convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Drake's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminated piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Sama? On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you? Yes. I was a witness in the Joel Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Let's talk to him. After the incident. I don't remember the moment when Drake stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? I was only asked about when I was attacked. It must be why Lana, why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted the guilty verdict so badly. And they forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. I just don't understand how can they want to something so badly because it's just their work. If it becomes personal, you must quit immediately, it's a law. You can't judge something because it's personal to you. Edgeworth? Yes. I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, it's when it all started. It was about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even so he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. It was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seems like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jack Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? Don't forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out suddenly. A ball of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw was then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture? What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Now Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, I've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14, that's understandable. When it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grow up, I'll become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling? There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Also, there's no mystery there. John Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Okay, I believe he killed the last person, but not all the previous. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. I tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices and the question room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? How silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. I used to be a detective, but I have another talk with you. So let's move to the detention center. You have 5 more minutes. That's exactly the hours that I'm streaming. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Also find evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing fall. Why should they be? This means that you criminals fail. Why should criminals? Well, right, okay, but Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana? Tell me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? So we have a right to know, Mr. Wright. And by the way, if you check these files, she was executive investigators. Okay. Detective Lana Skye. That's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Let's still talk about all the cases she and Chief Guns cracked together. Chief Guns? Then he was the vice head of criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes. Diamond Guns. He was everything I aspired to be. We're the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filled. And I really idealized his big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? Who's planned on becoming a prosecutor? The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could later use that experience in court. Guns' help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police. Arrange my transfer to the prosecutor's office. I should ask him about the investigation officer 2 years ago. A lot of revelations were uncovered as a trial today. not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. A trial wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, I'd always stick to the truth. Can be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Hannah, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second command? That means the chief detective was no doubt Damon Gant? Yes, Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. Even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Okay. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. It was when the last murder took place. So he was really the serial killer. I'm not sure. I need more information. When he tried to murder Emma, Detective Marshall was trying to save me from Dirk. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dirk that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dirk must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Detective Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filling some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dirk. I returned to my office. I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smell blood. Okay, maybe Marshall was not killed by Dark. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out. Marshall is not victim? And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor confusion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. And lay her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite coincidence, huh? Then wait. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe It was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case, and has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. Case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Drake in the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Demon Gaunt and I shared. The office that Mr. Gaunt now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Then you should have a look at the office, chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. It's past 10 PM. Okay, let's move here. Check it. As it might be open today. By the way, underground parking lot still available? No one's here today, not even Mr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. It must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 PM on the day of the crime. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case, but instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hansi Lana. Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Stephanie Nelson here. What? It's another Wright? From Creighton. Just when I decided to stop the stream, because tomorrow is Monday, and I need to work. Hello, Angster. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Let's go here. Okay, maybe 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes to just justify this raid, and next grade, and you can tell me where I should move. If you're right now here, of course. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Sarah, you never know where life will lead you, Bambina? I should know my luck had run out. And old Billy dried up this morning. Why is he not in attention? Very strange. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourselves in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Let's talk to him. Okay, Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. Does he mean that he's prettier than his brother? Quite the opposite. Had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? See in my profiles? It has. But no gender. Genders here ain't no age, of course. John Drake. he was 27 at the time, 27, and you are 33? Hold on, so his younger brother? I can't believe this. Wow. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor. He don't mean King of Prosecutors. Not that again. What are you looking at me like that for? It's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. Okay, in every single case, at the end we are shown final evidence. I mean, after we found someone not guilty. Maybe the last one will be this trophy to Edgeworth, but I'm not sure. So Graydon, as I said, I am going to end this stream very soon. Where I supposed to move it? I mean, who should I rate? Tell me. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, but by nightfall, there was thunder. How soon? Actually, I thought that it will happen 2 minutes ago, but... Okay, maybe 10 minutes. Or 15. Let's read this dialogue and see. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence, so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. Also the detectives thought so. What I mean, fishy. Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broke tip? It was Joe Dark's. Yeah. Alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. I see. What does it mean? Means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. The facts have been concealed with forged evidence. A case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Was something going on behind the scenes in that case? We all knew it later. A detective involved in that investigation said one was taken care of. Mr. was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him, too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Chai Miata? I have allergy to Miata. Alright, you'll go with them. Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, mommy, now. I mean, Damon Guns and Lana Sky. Chief Detective Damon Guns and his second command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gaunt, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor, Sky, was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but your secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Not a secret. It all started 2 years ago. So, there you have it. It's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy, Edgeworth, isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gaunt. So we just need to prove that he is guilty. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. It was a new animation and sound effect. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambino. Okay, I just wanted to go to the new room here, which is... What, there will be another dialogue here. I give you $50. And according to donation, this is 5,500 rubles. But the donut? Donut? The nation worked for me from 4,000 to 5,000. That is worth. I don't even know. I have no idea. You should check it. Don't know. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. I constantly had problems with the national alerts, by the way, and many people as well. That they trying to get the money back to them because they thinking that it was transferred from foreign country. It's simply illegal if it's just transferred. The nation yes, but not money movements. It must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Friends, if you're looking for the assets, they own the conference room. Thanks. Well, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. I know chief actually talked to us several times already. There are more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. Had never heard about chaos on Thanksgiving because nobody actually celebrates it. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, I'd like to have a look around Chief Gunn's office. Just head across the hall to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go on there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Okay, you're right, you can't go in there. It's off limits. Now let's see where Detective Gaucho gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Where's this office? Finally. How can this be the office? That's why this was this music, because of the organ. Wow, where am I? In the chief's office, Salim. At least, that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Ba? I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me what? I never could remember where C was. C is actually dull, and I don't know why in English they use this garbage when the rest of the world using their regular notes. Bad Japanese film also shot on this part? No. This one is not from the original game, so it had never been in the movie because of this. It's some fanfic, a DLC, specifically for Nintendo DS version, because how convince people to buy the game twice? In this, people didn't buy the game if it was ported somewhere. You must say that there's additional content. And nowadays, people buy the same game again and again for what? I don't know. Shogun. He pulled that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately? Maybe people start complaining like, why is this people on the other platform? We have Xbox, we have PlayStation, but on Nintendo has additional content? What? Why? That's it. Yes, that's the extra. In the original games there were only 4 cases, and this is 5th case and super long. It's only for Nintendo DS, not for Game Boy Advance. Well, of course on PC it's also here. No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. It's even not in anime. Yeah, because fanfics don't belong to anime. Strange, because fillers are there, but not this. I appreciate that. I had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? Yes, have paused since that incident. My, how time flies. This is a big picture on the wall over there. That's a picture of Lana, Nell, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Nell Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something not right with this picture. Yeah, I see these ways. Can't quite seem to put my finger on it, so... Well, it's kinda obvious what's wrong. I can check it right now. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I was sure that this was some kind of addition. That is, a separate game? Separate game? Oh. But this office. It was crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. I still need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. No need doesn't mean you must not. That's my picture. I can't check it, but okay. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Wasn't even able to talk to him. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet at all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean a clue? Well, I already got the clue. There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Okay, maybe now I should read. Okay, I will check this and that's all. Hey Paul, Detective Gumshoe, were you in a meeting? I was just taking a breather. My feet hurt from sitting so long in the meeting. Actually, I had to serve everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. But why? It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. It's because of what my sister said. It's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. What about this incident? Actually, I took a look at the files earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall? He was trying to protect some girl. Definitely it was not Dark. Me. He could be a serial killer, but not in this case. It seems Detective Gumshoe never released Emma about the girl. It's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Let's see, knife? I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget, look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. We should show him the murder weapon. Might jog his memory. Oh, wait a second, it's present. Present. About this. Hey, don't tell me that's... Has a tag attached to it, with a label as L9 incident on it. So, if the evidence was stolen, why not this knife? So what was stolen? I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Oh, maybe the other piece of this knife. Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it? Now remember what that incriminated piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again! This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, and it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed he using it to murder anyone, right? It's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess when the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? Victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did much dark knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. Doesn't look like this. That's pretty conclusive. Updated autopsy report. Switchable knife. What? It was already here. Maybe it was updated? Strange. stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. An FT was in the wound. So 7-7 sodium, single stab wound, died from blood loss. In under 10 minutes, weapon found in wound was missing. Weapon found in wound was missing. I didn't get it, but okay. The broken tip was found in the victim's body. I want to see this tip, but looks like it was stolen. So, next crimes. Joe Drake was 42 at the time of the crime. Just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What might he take to serial killing? One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. It's his car. So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? Humans are animals anyway, so he can't be transformed. He was already one, like everyone else. Killed a man that witnessed the accident. He walked just so killed him too. Then Joey came up the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. This too many sticks was skipped. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but fortunately he was arrested on the spot. But it's okay, it doesn't make him serial killer. Serial killer is someone who likes just killing people and killing without like anything. Here he was trying to hide the evidence of his initial crime. So it's not a serial killing. Despite that it was a series of kills. Okay, I don't know. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Last witness must mean Emma. What about Crisis? But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. SK, the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence he presents in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Those who don't like him haven't been able to do anything because of his amazing talent as a prosecutor. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only had that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Young? Why is... Oh, okay, yes. 24, okay. Headache. Keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My right. Yes, sir. You gonna take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Duke? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problem with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about you. And all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Nell Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now, and his office is locked. but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? We already have one? But if I let a civilian in there, I'll be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'll be canned. Oh. Sorry, Bob. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. It won't work either. The data was deleted, so they had died. Oh, we returned our card set of visitors that they got. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. And I would say something we could show him that would make him change his mind. And maybe I will show it. No. Do I have it? I have a lot of things to show. This. We share a little advice with you as a detective. You don't have a clue? Keep your trap shut. Why the mouse is called trap, I don't know. Keep that in mind. Shish. Well, what about this? This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was carrying the bloodstain on that evidence locker with his life. It's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. But to admit he's right, so. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we're able to prove another possibility today. Possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. Yes. Yes, that's it. It's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony that the show? Of course, Paul, and you already heard this. Congratulations. What should I show him? Maybe I don't have it right. No. I've been studying up on those files, there's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. Some people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, aren't buying it. Well, you're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know? After all, a serial killer was on the loose. Lana was pretty clear in her conviction. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. Can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. I thought that Gumshoe is older than him, but okay. Really? Say Dick should listen to all your troubles. Basically, it's 22:37 or 10:37. I must make it quick. Not a cell. Lieutenant Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone altered trade places him. What? Why are you looking at me like that? About that job. I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories of people have from previous lives? It's no previous lives. This must be the most unfortunate detective I've ever met, except if you're living in the Matrix. In this case, they must use the same entities again and again? I don't know. Nobody's using tapes in Matrix, so there cannot be any traces. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Shotgun? Where could I have been seeing that before? Or the pictures that I showed to him already. Can I show it again? No. No locker can be opened without a fingerprint match. Besides, there's no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker. Wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it, detective? The handprint of the real murderer's gloved hand, without any fingerprints. If they come to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you? If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with actors. Oh, a lost item wrapper, huh? Very impressive, detective. You knew what it was right all about? Well, I'm a master of misplacement, you know? Master. Has such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, they're meant to be lost. So high power at work here. That was stolen. Higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. I don't need this screwdriver. Hey, is it boulders used for detecting fingerprints? Yeah, Mr. Edwards gave it to us. He did what? Have is some floor. Are you okay, detective? Quick, run! Okay. It's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. I'm not comforted. It's ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 77. That's 172 Maya, a detective. Executive officer, just might have a hunch. Grant, of course, Gaunt. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too, he bothered. Whoa, is it a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height. What? Base height? Hey, let me see that. Lumen tall. You improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had the smear on her face. About this. Hey, don't tell me that. There's a truck. Okay, this I already heard. Skip it, skip it. Maybe I don't have this evidence. It's a photo that Miss Star took. Anything you can tell us about it? Miss Star is quite the lady. I remember it was wind. Okay, this already heard. Skip it. It's not skipping. I think that's all. Let me save and write. Finally. Because I don't know, and I will continue tomorrow. We'll think about this. Definitely need to investigate something else. Don't have any evidence. Did I save? Let's hope. Yeah, I did save. So it was... Oh my god, what was this? Chai Meta. Is it still online? Chai Meta. Chai Meta. Where can I search it? Chai Meta. Channels. What? I failed! Last live 20 minutes ago! Oh my god, sorry Kraden. 20 minutes ago. Some kind of idiot. It took so long to... Alright, maybe next time if I don't forget about this chai miata, I will follow the channel, so next time if miata will be online, of course I will rate them. It's another VTuber. Yeah, indeed. I seriously don't understand why somebody want to hide their face. But that's okay. Okay, next time for sure. I'll read. Okay, right now I have Jarbal playing Terraria and nobody else. Well, I have some people, but they have more viewers, of course. I mean 6. No people with the same amount. So let me rate him. Yeah. Indeed, nobody else. So, thank you for stopping by, thank you Croydon for the raid. I think I will be able to continue tomorrow. Well, why not? I'm not sure, but why not? Will I be able to finish it tomorrow? I really doubt, because there's still one full investigation and one full... trial? Anyway, I can maybe spend like 3 hours tomorrow, 3 hours on Tuesday, and finally finish this game and start another quest, some horror JRPG from Kuluk, and there will be another quest from Kuluk. Request. And after this, finally it will be Sonic. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Good luck, good night, and see you maybe tomorrow. Bye.